Yo, step up. Place best, this moment's ours. Summit up the mountain, feeling the powers. Counting gains, no shame in it to win it. Roll the dice, double down, life's a limit. Kings on this court, ruling the game from the top of the world. Calling my name, no hesitation, just celebration, it's sight. Raise the stakes, we're living for a hype. Yeah, hit the summit, best high, watch and grow. This the life it chose. Let the stakes flow.
And you are tuned in to The Line is Hot for NFL Week 4. I am your host. Today I'll be a solo host. Your boy SV, the Don, Shawnee V. I am here proudly on the built-in Buffalo Network. And we're going to have a quick abbreviated show. Been a crazy week, man. Been a crazy week. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about an agenda, man. We got about a 40-minute show. I have some plans tonight. Boston Mike is off. Some of the other boys have plans tonight. So I just want to do a quick hitter. And Mike, quick shout out to Boston Mike. He has a 21st wedding anniversary dinner with his lovely wife, Amy, who sponsors our show. So shout out to them. Also, Marcus, the hybrid, we scheduled him to come on. Hopefully he'll be able to pop on. He had some, if you tuned into the last week's episodes, he's had some personal kind of turmoil and kind of personal tragedy in his family that he's been dealing with, a loss in his family. But he hopefully will be back. He has some really cool and interesting news to share with everybody. So hopefully he'll pop in at some point. But if not, I have the boys' picks. And it was an interesting week, man. The Bills win again. We're sitting at 3-0. I spent the last couple days up at the casino in North Carolina. It was fun, man. In Georgia, in the Atlanta area where I'm at, we don't have, it's a dry state, so you don't have any gambling, which sucks. So you got to go north of the border. Crossing is about 2 hours, and so it's a Caesars property, Cherokee River Valley Casino, right over the border in North Carolina, in Murphy, North Carolina. So went up there, was able to hit a bunch of parlays. Obviously, non-football. Although I did hit one last night, which I'll get into when we talk about college football slate. But not my specialty. But I was able to hit some nice bets in the MLB. I hit a parlay, actually a parlay or two, a 4 or 5 teamer. So as we're going to go through, we'll talk a little bit about the Bills, digest the game, talk about this upcoming game, and then just give you some quick bets both for college as well as the NFL, and then we'll get you out of here. But, yeah, happy to be back on the built-in Buffalo Network. Again, we're planning on going live every Friday night around, say, around the 9 o'clock hour. Normally, we like to start right at 9. But, again, I had to do some last-minute stuff. Boston Mike is usually doing the switchboard operating on here, like the screens and everything. So excuse my my technical lack of savviness, although I think I got it. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the game. Obviously, the Bills play. We played. We're at 3-0. A win is a win. We played on Thursday night, so they've had this long layoff, and they beat the Dolphins. The game was obviously closer than it should have been. We all know that. But they get the division dub. We're sitting multiple games clear now in the division. And you have the Jets and the Dolphins who play each other. The Patriots maybe aren't as strong as we might have thought they were. So that's – and take that for what it is. I'm actually a believer in Drake May. But they've been a little underwhelming. Mike Vrabel has let me down a bit. I expected more, I'll say. And obviously it's only 3 weeks in, so there's time. But, I mean, at this point, the Bills haven't even played really a complete game on both sides of the ball yet. We've had, a really strong offensive showing at times. The defense has been opportunistic, but they have yet to hit on all cylinders in 3 facets of the game, which is fine. It's completely fine because we're going to need that later on in the season. We have some tough games, albeit they're at home coming up. Philly, KC, Tampa. We got some of these tougher games. But we look good. I mean, at this point, I know it's 3 weeks in, but does anybody really think it's going to be a problem for the Bills to clear the division and kind of walk away with it by, let's say, like week 10, we already have a multiple game lead. They might be 7 games clear, or some kind of crazy amount clear, 6 games. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, just to kind of put a bow on it, again, we get the win. It didn't look great. Like the offense to do a little bit better play calling. We've kind of been over this. I've had a couple pods since Thursday, but want to look ahead, and I want to talk about something that I really nailed. I want to talk about the upcoming game here against the Saints. And if you tuned in last week, I said to everybody here, don't be surprised if this game against the Saints will be the biggest spread of the entire season. It's the biggest spread I've seen in a long time. So it opened up at, I believe it opened up at 14.5 or 13.5. I forget. I believe it was 14, and now it's up to 15.5. I accurately predicted that would be the biggest spread, and it is, and for good reason. The Saints just got blown out by an inferior opponent compared to what the Bills are, and I just don't really see a way that the Bills will not cover 2 touchdowns. I mean, as we'll talk about in the picks and the spreads and whatnot, I'm going to confidently give the two touchdowns in the hook, whatever it is. That time, I think it's at 15.5 right now. But the Saints are really fighting to be probably the first pick in the NFL draft. They really have no aspirations this season. Spencer Rattler, although he's shown some flashes of being a competent quarterback at times, they just don't have the talent really on either side of the ball to compete with any teams or most teams in the league, and certainly not what we all know as a Super Bowl contender for the Bills. So I think the Bills win this game by 20 plus. I mean, if you think about it, they beat the Jets 30-10. We beat the Jets by 20. The Jets scored some garbage time points to get within 20. The Bills could have shut them out, honestly. It's very possible. So as we preview this game, I'm not predicting any type of issues. I think that they'll take care of business as they should. We're at home. The crowd's going to be rocking. So, again, I'm not foreseeing any type of issues. And there's Boston Mike with a quick chime in. Boston Mike, you're supposed to be enjoying your anniversary with your lovely wife. Please enjoy your dinner or whatever you're doing and get off. No, but we love to see Boston Mike. Always a pleasure, my guy. I wish you were here. I'll probably talk to you. And I know you'll be back next week, but I'm sure I'll talk to you either later tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, I don't really think we need to get too much into the game with the Bills and Saints. It's kind of self-explanatory. I think it will be a much easier spread cover than it was with the Dolphins. Obviously, the Dolphins game, same type of similar situation. It was, I think we were given 13. That's a division game, everybody. The Dolphins always play the Bills tough. You know, Josh Allen has owned them, but it was a little bit of tough sledding. I think more so than it needed to be. This is an out of conference game. They're traveling. I know it's only 1 time zone away. New Orleans isn't that far away, but they got to come into one Bills drive. So, and Lily chimes in from Rochester. Hey, Lily, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, anybody who's going to the game, let me know. I actually will be flying in from Atlanta next week. I fly in Sunday morning early and will be in the building, tailgating and all, for the Patriots game, Sunday Night Football. Boston Mike, obviously, it's a point of contention. He's not super happy with the Patriots' performance, as I don't think he should be. But I will be there. So if anybody who listens to the pod or watches us, let me know if you're there. We'll definitely link up. We usually tailgate in the Kettles lot. So those of you that are familiar with going to games, Abbott Road across the street, there's the gas station. Kind of, I guess it would be technically not kitty corner, but it's behind the gas station a couple blocks back. So we will be there. Mike says something about tailgating. Yeah, so I think our plan is, I don't know if we're going to go into the game. I think Coach Mook could probably get me into the press box, but obviously we all can't go. There's a limited number of seats in there, and I'm sure Mookie's going to be going himself from our radio station. So I think the plan is for right now, if anybody's looking for something to do or is just going to go and hang out, we're going to be with a group of about 15 to 20 people or so. Yep, Kettles, there you go. So we'll be tailgating at Kettles. My friend Joelle is the owner there. She always does a great job. We used to bring Mike's RV back to park it right behind Kettles and plug into her electricity, have AC flowing. And the last time the Patriots came, it was like in the dead of winter, and we were having like doing fires in a barrel and freezing. But we will be with a number of Patriots fans making the trek from the Boston area. So it'll be fun. And I think the plan is, as of now, we're going to watch the game if we don't go in at either Prohibition or the one across the street, O'Neill's, another place that I know the owner. So those places are always fun. My buddy used to DJ there years ago, and we used to go in and just like hang out if we didn't have tickets to the game, and it was a shit show. It was fun though. Not always the most family oriented type of atmosphere at O'Neill's. This is going back 5 to 10 years. Haven't been there in a while. But Lily says, yeah, the tailgate is going to be lit on Sunday morning for sure. So, yeah, again, my best bet for this game is go ahead and give the Bills. Those of you who tune in regularly know that I like to tweak it down. So, obviously, touchdown being 7, 2 being 14. I like to buy that down just because unless some kind of goofy situation happens with like a missed extra point, a 2-point conversion, a safety, something like that, I'd always rather get it underneath like maybe like 2.5. So teams could usually win by a field goal. And there has been a ton of games, people, so far this year that have been won at the gun with no time left by a field goal. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I'll tweak it down. Like I'll buy a couple of points. It's at 15 now. I'll buy it down to Bills given 13.5. And I think that like they cover no problem by 20. That's what I'm expecting. I think it's going to be a bit of a more of a mismatch. Even than the Dolphins game was supposed to be. So that's what we have going on. I do want to talk about, not to pat myself on the back too much, but I want to give a quick little update. As you guys know, if this is your first time watching The Line is Hot, you may or may not know that we pick the games against the spread every week. So let me give you a quick little update on that through 3 weeks. Scott says, Saints are hideous, light work, don't play down. That's true, Scott, and that's what I'm saying. The Bills tend to play down to competition. It feels like more times than not. Just blow them, man. Like, can we just have a game where you're clearly a class higher than the other team? Get the starters out after half. Let Josh sit on the sideline and watch Mitch Trubisky get some reps. God forbid Josh ever gets hurt. He came in one play, made an amazing throw on a third down. Let some of the backups play. That's what I would like to see. So I totally agree. Scott follows up and says, light him up. Yes, man. Get Cook out of the game. Get like some of these other, like our receivers. Yeah, let Keon play a little bit into the third quarter, fourth quarter, whatever it is. Shakir hasn't really had a ton of work so far. I would like to see who else. Elijah Moore can get involved. Shavers can get some extensive playing time. But yeah, get Cook out, get Josh out. There's no reason why this game shouldn't be a 14 to 17 to 20-point game by halftime, especially if they were able to either A, get some stops or maybe even turnovers. So Shavers Tutty to bet. I like that, Scott. That probably pays pretty damn well. I can see it, especially if he's playing a lot of snaps in this game. I could totally see that. That might be a sneaky pick. But back to what I was talking about here. So if you remember, we started week 1. Actually, I don't even know if this is updated properly. I don't think this is updated properly. But these are all the picks. Actually, no, it is. It is. So Mike, I think Boston Mike failed to update this to week 2. That should actually say week 3. But the total makes sense because through 3 games, I'm not that good, people. But I started week 1. I was in last place at the bottom, and I've now picked 25 games against the spread correctly and through 3 weeks. So I'm averaging, 8? We'll call it 7 point, whatever it is. And I think that's pretty good. It's not very easy to pick games against the spread, but I think I'm doing pretty well at it. Here we go. John says, we'd like to see Landon Jackson. Yeah, man. Landon Jackson, get him some action. Obviously, Ed Oliver and Matt Milano have already been ruled out. So love to see Landon Jackson get some playing time. Some of the backups in the secondary on the D-line. yeah, have this game be a get right game for your mentality, for all your backup players to get some experience, so that, you know, there's going to come a point in time this season where they're going to be called on. So it'd be nice to get some actual real live bullets in a game that isn't really in any way up for grabs. I mean, get those guys a lot of playing time in the second half. Should be able to kind of treat it like a de facto preseason game, I hope. Yeah, man. So Scott chimes in about shavers. Plus 900. Yeah, there's some value on that. I would definitely consider placing, dude, I'll put $100 on that to get back. I don't know if you get back 9 or if you actually walk with 1,000. That's good. That's good value, bro. Like, especially Trubisky and Shavers have had a lot of time to kind of play together earlier in the off season, mini camp and preseason. So they have that little bit of chemistry. So I do love that. Jordan Hancock. Yeah. Let's have him not start at safety, but let's have him play a half at safety. Let's have him play a little bit in the slot. That would be great. Let's get these guys some work, man. I said, just first team, take care of your business. And you know what? Here's a great comment from Scott. Yeah. You know what? We're paying Groot a lot of money, Greg Rousseau, and you need to show up. You need to get it going. I mean, that's how these guys are really making their money. It's the sexy stat, right? Quarterback pressures, quarterback hits, and sacks. It needs to happen. He's been close at times, but really, I think Bosa has earned his money as far as like doing some of the splashy plays, the forced fumbles and whatnot. But yeah, I totally agree with that. But so as you can see, I'm doing pretty well at picking the spreads. I have gained control. I now have a little bit of a padded lead. Our new guy, Phil, ATL Phil, I believe he might be on here. Let's see if I can find him. ATL Phil, are you here?
John, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, my guy?
Much, man. How you doing?
Nothing. It's crazy. I was actually just were your ears ringing? Because I was just talking about you. About to talk. You were going over the weekly spread picks, and you picked the games. I know technically we're gonna have to maybe use a mean average because you didn't start picking until week 3. So those of you who've never met ATL Phil, he is our resident college football betting analyst. See with the Georgia Dogs, we're going to talk about that just a little bit here. But ATL Phil, a resident Atlanta Falcon fan. Tough game last week, I'll admit. But Phil did pick, even though it's not on the chart, he did pick 6 games correctly against the spread, which would put him in a tie with Boston Mike for last week. So I said we'll figure out a way to kind of update these totals. But as you can see, buddy, I'm starting to gain a little bit of a lead here through 3 weeks, which is nice to see for anybody who actually tunes in and bets things that we say. I think that's pretty damn good, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think you had a good week last week and the week before. What, you had 11 correct the week before?
Yeah, I had. Yeah, so far the high water benchmark is for any given week was 11. And so I started with, I think, 6 games picked with the spread properly in week 1. And everybody else, I was in last place. Everyone else had 7, I think 8. And then I put up an 11 in week 2. And then now I put up an 8 this week. So, yeah, man. But yeah, 11 is the high water mark. Mike said that we're going to track whatever the best single week for anybody. That's like the high water mark. And he's going to buy somebody a steak or something. Maybe, I don't know, some kind of money or maybe a bottle of liquor or something. But yeah, man. So I'm glad you were able to jump in. I wanted to ask you, I'm not going to torture you and have you talk about the Falcons. You don't need to do that. But I wanted to talk about maybe just a review of last week, because I talked a little bit about the Bills game already. So don't need you unless you have any other thoughts. I know you gave us your thoughts previously on the Bills, but any other kind of thoughts on the NFL at large, whether it just be any results that caught your eye this past week, aside from the Falcons. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they didn't do us too proud here, getting blanked 30-0. I think that's the first time we've been held to 0 points in
very surprising to me.
Few years. But I'll tell you, the team that really did surprise me was Chicago.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams looked really, really good this week. So I'm hoping to see him bounce back again this week. Who does Chicago have this week?
Yeah. So the Bears. Oh, I have it here. I believe the Bears play a division game. Hold on one second. I have it up on my phone. So I have all my picks. No, they played Dallas. No,
they
hold on a second. They just played Dallas. Yeah, they beat them. They are playing a game. I like them actually. They're a slight dog. Oh, they're playing the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, I'll take Chicago against the Raiders.
I mean, the thing is, you see, like the Raiders, they had kind of an all right week one. They were scoring some points. I think they're a middling team. Sure. Chicago has a lot of talent. I am a huge proponent of Rome Odunze. I like Caleb. I don't love Caleb, but I think Caleb is probably the emerging talent at quarterback from that class at this point. Bo Nix seems to maybe taking a little step back. Second year is always tough, but I like Caleb. He moves really well in the pocket, and he's got a ton of weapons to throw to. DJ Moore, Rome, some decent talent there. But yeah, they kind of played up to their ability last week. Not that Dallas is like a powerhouse or anything, but it makes me think that they can. Chris Maz, fix your glare. Sorry, Chris Maz. My brother yelling at me. I didn't notice. I do have a glare. Hold on a second, boys and girls.
Kind of a glare.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else that you either like? I have one quick one. I don't know if you want to talk about this. How about the Colts? Are the Colts for real? And one of the biggest takeaways that I have going into this week is going to be the Colts actually play a legitimate team this week against the Rams. So that's my actual favorite game on the slate this week. We'll talk more about it when we talk about the picks. But can they actually show up and play against a real team?
I do. I think they can. But the Rams, they had Philly on the ropes last week.
They did.
You remember watching the games, and they had those 3 blocked field goals all at like the same time. And I think Tampa ended up pulling their game out with a field goal.
Yep.
Big boy from Georgia for Philly.
Oh, yeah. Walker, right? Is that Walker?
Yeah, and runs it back. I think they said he got up to like 18.
How about a backdoor cover right there? We were watching that game. They could have just fell on the ball. No, we're going to run it back to cover the spread. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think the Chargers are looking strong still.
Yeah, I know you've been on them since last week. You've been talking really well about that.
Yeah, Chargers are. I'm big on those guys.
Jordan Davis, Jordan Davis, 6'9", 350. He's a big boy, a guy that we know really well. Chris Maz, I don't know what to do about the glare, buddy. I really, there's nothing I can do about it without turning my lights off. I'm not going to do that. So I apologize about that, everybody. But yeah, that's my favorite game on the slate. Scott says Rams win versus a monster. Like he's quickly emerging as maybe the top, like maybe, I don't know. I don't think this is a hot take. I think he's emerging as maybe the 1B, like top emerging pass rusher to like Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett, I think, is by far the best. But like that dude has come in and he's been awesome. DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year. Oh. Yeah, I can see that. Chris Maz says, yeah, Indiana Jones has his first real test. He's right, man. That division sucks. Like, let's just be honest. Not a great division. Let me see if I can just check there.
Nobody's playing up to their potential right now.
No, you're right about that. So yeah, let's just get into it. I know I'm glad you were able to hop on ATL Phil. I want to cap the show. I do have some plans at 10 o'clock. So what are we doing? Oh, it's our friend Lindsay's birthday. Lindsay from the Treehouse, everybody. So I just want to give out some of our picks. We're definitely going to talk some quick picks for NFL, for college, and maybe a couple parlays. And then there's a big college game that I want to get to. So let's do this. I'm just gonna go through the games. ATL Phil, I have the boys picks, but I'll ask you as well. We'll just kind of rifle through these quickly, and I'll get your picks here because I know last week you didn't have a chance to pick them. You sent them to me afterwards,
right?
So we'll do them together here. All right, here we go. So these are the current lines, current spreads right now. according to ESPN, so these are live. So this is not what they started as. So when I say obviously Bills are at home, giving now 15.5 against the Saints. Who do you like there, bud?
A lot of points, but the Saints are horrible, and they just boat raced last week. So I'm going to
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm also on the Bills giving the points. So is Moneyball. So is Mike. Marcus, I'm not going to speak for him. We might get a backdoor cover from Marcus. Might pop in at some point and maybe give us some of his picks. Yes, we're all on the Bills. I know it's a lot of points. What do we got here? Thoughts on Washington versus Atlanta? No Jaden. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Chris Massel. That game is Falcons giving your Falcons, who just got blown. They did. Very surprising. I bet them too. Against the hapless Panthers.
Yeah.
You guys are giving 1.5 without Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. What are your thoughts on that game? Do they bounce back here? I think it's a tough spot, but
I have to bounce back from that game last week. I think Raheem Morris will get those guys rolling this week. Get Michael Penix back in there. I know they benched him, the second half or the fourth quarter, brought in Kirk Cousins, but I think Penix is the answer. We've never really played well in Charlotte, ever. I don't know what it is, that place.
Yep.
But we just don't have much luck in Charlotte. So I think we bounce back this week.
Okay. Yeah, damn, bro. This is a tough one. So 1.5 is not a lot of points. I think with the Commanders, without Jaden, who's the Commanders' backup quarterback?
I don't even know.
Yeah, neither do I. Let me check that. If anybody knows who the Commanders' backup quarterback is, tweet it real quick at me. I want to look it up though, really quick too. Commanders. It's probably somebody decent because he's not a big guy. I mean, he runs quite a bit and he moves, so I'm sure they have a contingency plan. Oh, Mariota. No, I'm taking Washington. I'm sorry.
It is.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's Mariota. Mariota looked competent. He has a propensity to fumble, and I saw him when I tuned into that game last week. He's kind of careless with the ball. He's not a big guy either, but he's a competent quarterback. He is a Heisman winner. Yeah, I think I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just that game could go either way, but just to be different, I'll take the Commanders just because they're getting 1.5, which is really nothing, but I'll take them there. Here's an interesting one. Vikings -2.5. I believe in Ireland. This game is in Ireland. I want to say it is overseas versus the Steelers. Who do you like there?
I'm going to go with Brett Favre and the Steelers.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go Vikings -2.5. I just think, man, can their defense play again the way that they played last week? Probably not.
Say Brett Favre. I did, didn't I? Not Brett Favre.
Oh, Rodgers. No, I know what you meant.
Aaron Rodgers.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Old guy. Played for the Packers. Yeah, I got you. No, I actually, know it's funny. I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch it. Went right over my head, and I just heard it, and I was like, yep, that sounds right. Moving right along. A team that we both like, that you've got me locked into this team. Chargers, given 6.5 versus the Giants. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to take the Chargers, given 6.5. I think they're legit. I'm on the wagon now with them. They're one of the teams I'm actually starting to get slightly concerned about in the AFC.
I think Jackson Dart's starting for the Giants too. Is that right?
Yes, he's making his debut. Yep.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers.
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. So you have Jackson Dart making his first start against the Chargers defense,
right?
And Herbert's been chucking the ball all over the yard. Yeah, I'll take the Chargers there. This one's a little bit goofy. I don't love this line. I think this is one of the teams that is overhyped. I don't know why, but the Texans -7.5. I really hate that spread versus the Titans. The Texans will win this game. They're the better team. but I don't like that 7.5.
Where's that game at?
Hold on 1 second. It is. Oh, sorry. I was looking at your spread. I was calculating your spread score. So I was at week 3. So that game, it's obviously a division game. It's like my least favorite division.
Right.
It is at Houston.
Oh yeah.
Houston will win that game.
I think so too. 7.5. That, like you say, that's a tricky spread. That hook.
I don't like it. I think they win by. That might be another field goal game. Tennessee scraps together a close game. If it would, I'll tell you what. Honestly, I know this is going to sound stupid, but I think if the spread was 6.5, I'd take Houston. But because it's 7.5, I'm going to take Tennessee. I just don't like. I don't like that line. I really don't. I think it's a 3-point game. I think that's gonna come down close. We could Houston blow them, yeah, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think Houston's that great. Stingley's out. Here's Mike. There you go. Titans lose by 5. That's kind of where I'm at, Mike. Yeah, I think they lose. They lose somewhere between 3 and 6. I hate that 7.5.
That's a good. I mean, I like where you're at, but with you going with Tennessee, for me, gain any ground and possibly get some wins, I'm going to go with points.
Okay. We got the hybrid. We got a hybrid sighting. Is the hybrid in the building? We might have a Marcus Dowtin hybrid sighting.
Oh, nice.
We got to see. He's in the room. Marcus, if you can hear us, just give us a shout. We're going to keep picking games, but I got you in the room here. Next, we're at this is a game. This is one of my favorite games of the week as well. Eagles giving 3.5. One of Marcus's former teams versus the Bucks, a team that I have bet multiple times, used them in my survivor picks this year, but they are escaping by like the skin of their teeth every single week, and I don't think that's going to happen. You can't do that against the Eagles. Granted, I know the Eagles almost gave it away. They were dominating. They let the Rams back in. They did find a way to win it, showing some championship pedigree and DNA. No, I think the Bucks have been playing with fire. I've been outspoken about that. I think the Eagles beat them by 3.5.
Are the Rams better than the Bucks?
I think so. Yeah.
So too.
Slightly.
I'll take Philly in that game.
Yep. I like it. Excuse me. Moving on. This is another interesting game that I don't like the spread again. Cleveland coming off a big win, a second field goal win, is getting 10.5 against Detroit.
I mean, how can you go against Detroit? 10.5, 2 touchdowns. Detroit could blow them out.
They can.
I'll take Detroit.
This is another one I would love if Detroit was minus 9.5. I don't love the 10.5. Cleveland's D is legit. I think they put the clamps on Detroit's high-flying offense a little bit.
They just can't score. They're not a.
I know. Detroit has a ton of weapons.
I mean, they're running with Flacco. Is that right?
Yeah.
Cleveland.
You know what? I think this is going to be a close game. I would love it if Detroit was minus 9.5. I definitely would take them then. I think I'm still going to take them. This is a game that if I was betting it, I would tweak it down to 9.5 because 10.5 is stupid. You got the hybrid? Yo, Marcus, you there, bud? Marcus, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got the hybrid is in the building. What is good, my guy?
I am here. I'm glad to be here. It's taking me a while to get back. My apologies to the fans and to you guys in general, man. I'm glad to be back. Sorry for the tardiness.
Oh, you're all good, brother. You are all good. We are happy to have you, man. Oh, my brother, I've been missing you, dog. We needed you. You've been still sending us your picks, but we're not going to be on too long.
Yeah. I see you're up.
Yeah, you seen that, huh? You seen that I'm up, huh? You like that?
Yeah, I see you're up on the winner's board.
Yeah.
I got a little pep in my step now.
As you should, my guy. As you should. You got to. But that's the thing is that week 2 I had 11 wins. I don't know if anybody beats that all year. I might not beat that again. To pick 11 games out of the slate right on the spread, it's hard to do.
Yeah, no,
but that's really that's the difference right now. Me being 3 games up. But hey man, I know we're not going to be on here too long, so I got some plans coming up in the next maybe like 10 minutes. But I did, now that you're on and ATL Phil is on, who I don't think you've had the pleasure of meeting yet.
What's going on, Phil, my brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Trying to get on Shawnee V's level, man. As you see, he's leading the pack.
Telling you, man, he's on fire.
All right. Well, hey, man. So, Marcus, I know we definitely wanted to. I guess we'll maybe highlight a game for you. We'll get back to maybe some NFL later, but there's a big game in college football this week, my friend. A game that I know is near and dear to your heart, and Phil as well, and myself. Now that we are Georgia fans, we have the game of the week in college football.
Yes,
Prime
sir.
time, Saturday night, 7:30. Bama coming between the hedges at Georgia in Athens. Georgia trying to protect a 33-game home winning streak. I would love to have you boys just chop it up. ATL Phil, can you give us a little back chop on this game, and then we'll let Marcus talk about it too? Oh, we lost ATL Phil's audio for a second. You there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go. Now we got you. Go ahead. Sorry. Couldn't hear you. Now we're good. All right. We got some audio problems with ATL Phil. I don't know why, buddy. I see you talking, but for some reason I can't hear the audio. Yeah, I'll mute you again. Try one more time, buddy.
He might be a Bama fan.
Nah, he's definitely not a Bama fan. He's definitely not a Bama fan. He's got the Georgia gear on. But I'll tell you this.
I was about to say,
hold on a second.
ATL Phil, the Bama fans are messing with your connection already.
That's right.
Can you hear me?
You? Yeah, now we can. Try to go again.
But Bama's wide. Georgia can generate pressure and cover Bama's wide receivers and ends.
Yeah. We had you for a minute, then you dropped out again. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try a little maneuver here. Hold on one second. We're gonna give Phil's takes. All right, buddy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go ahead, talk.
Georgia leans heavily on the run game, controlling the clock and tempo, but Bama defensive ability all year, especially against Florida State. So protecting Gunnar Stockton and improving on the pass option will be crucial for Georgia. So I see a close, high-scoring game. If Bama's quarterback is playing in the pocket, they can push for a big passing attack. But I think Georgia will try to dominate the time and possession, and I think they'll wear down the tide, and they'll cover the spread 31-27.
I like it. Marcus, were you able to hear that or no? I had to put it on speaker on my phone.
No, definitely. I heard ATL's take on that.
Got you. What are you thinking?
He's absolutely right in terms of controlling the run and controlling the game clock. That's what it's going to be about in this game for sure. Of course, this is the rivalry. Of course, this is the big one. This is the game of the week. There's nowhere else to be but here for this one. This is one of those epic moments that I remember. They came and whooped our butts, and we even had a blackout that weekend. So that was one of those games back. I would say my first opportunity to even view the rivalry and see the opportunity that those boys get a chance to experience this week. It's great and awesome. But of course, those dogs are going to control that ball, and we're going to drive it straight down that Bama boys' throats.
I like that. I like that. And I was going to tell you this. So I have a couple bets. We could probably just get right into it. I like the fact that in this game, Georgia is giving 2.5 at home, trying to protect that streak. And I think it's going to be a ball control type of offense for Georgia. They're going to try to run. They're going to try to, obviously, with their D line, stop Bama. And Bama's going to have to pass. So because of that, and the fact that it's only 2.5 points, I'm going to take our dogs to cover the spread, win by a field goal. I think it will be very close. But my number one bet for this game is actually going to be Ryan Williams, the Heisman candidate receiver for Bama, over 60.5 yards, because I know Bama is going to have to pass in this game because they're not going to be able to run, I don't think. So because of that, over 60.5, Ryan Williams could really get loose for one play and get 60 yards in one shot. And he's their number one option in the passing game. So I can easily see him going over 100 yards. So I think the fact that he's at 60.5 seems very, very light to me. So that's my number one pick for the game. But Marcus, what do you think? You think Georgia's going to get it done? You think that they get the dub?
Shawnee V, I not only is this the game of the week, it's two. I would say two. Well, of course, there's a lot of first rounders that's going to be playing in this game this weekend. But two guys to look out for. You said one of them, and that's who's going to make or break this game.
Yep.
The kid Williams.
Yep.
But that the kid number one for University of Georgia, Branch.
Oh yeah, Branch. He's quick. He's real quick.
This kid, I've said it since I've seen him at USC. This kid is lights out. He reminds me of Percy Harvin back in the day. This kid, between the both of them going back to back at each other, that's going to determine the game, and also will determine who out of those two will be, the higher pick or not. I think those we're looking at. Of course, like you mentioned, Heisman candidate, of course, but don't get me wrong. Those boys from Georgia and that number one, that kid's going to show out this weekend.
Yep, I like that. And I know I do got to get out of here in just a second, but if we can, love to hear. I know Phil, if we have your audio back, love to get some of your college picks quickly. I got a couple picks. One, I wanted to give this at the top. I like TCU, which was the game that started at 9 o'clock. So we're going to start doing this, maybe giving a live pick at the time of recording so that we can actually follow along with it on the show. So okay. I had this. I don't know what's going on, but I had TCU plus 3.5 in the first half at Arizona State. I'm going to check what that is right now because I have no clue. Honestly, I haven't looked. But here's my picks of the week. In the NFL, well, I'll start with college. In college, I like Notre Dame money line against Arkansas. I like Kansas at home against Cincinnati. I like Texas A&M money line at home against Auburn. I like Indiana giving 6.5 off a game that we definitely got wrong last week. I'm not going to lie. They blew out Illinois, which Phil and I both were on Illinois. Indiana showed me something. I'm going to give them some respect on their name. Yeah. Giving 6.5 at this point. At Iowa on the road, I'm going to give that. I believe I bought a point there. Talked about Ryan Williams over 60.5 yards for Bama. And certainly, last but not least, I like the Blue Devils and my Syracuse Orangemen over 53 points. I believe that line's actually at like 59 right now, even though Syracuse got their backup QB playing. I'm going to tweak that down by as low as I can to 53. And then real quick for the NFL, I got Billy the Kid's 3 underdog picks of the week. He's got the Commanders plus money, the Bears, which I also like, plus money, and the Steelers. I'm not as high on them, but that's Billy the Kid's 3 picks. They're plus 120. So they're the biggest underdog of his 3. As far as my 4-team play parlay in the NFL, I think it's a pretty easy one this week, people. I got the Eagles money line, the Lions money line, the Broncos money line, and the Packers money line. That's 4 teams. That should be probably 2 or 3 to 1 on your money. Phil, who do you like? We got your audio back. Give the people some good picks.
Oregon.
All right, we got Phil. Phil's audio's out again. Phil, you got your audio out again, man. I don't know what the problem is with it, but it's all right. You know what? I got you. I'm gonna call you again real quick, and then we'll be out of here. Hold on one second, buddy. I'm gonna mute you here. Are you there, buddy?
Yep, I'm here. I don't know what's going on with the audio, but
Yeah, no worries, bud.
that second pick was Oregon plus 3.5 versus Penn State. I'll take that. And then I'll take Kentucky plus 6.5 at South Carolina.
I like it. I like it. So we're giving you all kinds of picks. Marcus, do you have any favorite picks for the people? Who you like this week?
This week I'm going to stick more towards the big dogs for this week.
I know you like your Eagles. I know you like your Eagles, right?
I'm loving my Eagles this week. Of course, you saw that crazy end last week's game. And, of course, you've seen those, the Eagles team is full of those Georgia boys now, the Georgia Dogs. Showed out last week, that's for sure. So I'm definitely going, I'm very high on the Eagles this week. Of course, they're.
Love it, man. I love it, man. Well, after all of that, hopefully everybody hits their picks this week. We gave you a bunch of parlays and picks. Thank you for tuning in, as always. Next Friday, we'll be back to a more regular scheduled program with Boston Mike behind the switchboard. Hopefully, we'll have the whole team back. But, hey, man, I'm up about $1,000 this week on bets. So hopefully everybody takes the advice. And we'll see everybody soon. Enjoy the weekend. Peace out.